From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon as the breaking news came in early this morning before sunrise. The Consumer Price Index number for the month of August released, and it came in higher than expected. It came higher on the headline number, it came higher on the component number. And it's all because the component parts, which you and I have been discussing on the channel for no less than 2 months, went higher than Wall Street expecting. Milk and eggs, rent, salaries, all what we said were going higher, it did go higher. And while gasoline went down, it was offset by the component parts you and I have been talking about on the channel for 2 months as going higher. The breaking news is your benefits are going up a lot. The breaking news is inflation still here to stay. The breaking news is that the Federal Reserve is going to come in more aggressively with its interest rate spikes. I have the latest breaking details about that Consumer Price Index number for the month of August, released before sunrise in today's recording. The reaction from the bond market to the stock market, everything you need to know from the shores of Santa Monica, California, heats up right now. We have big money as the situation for those interest rates heats up in no less than 1 week away. As the Federal Reserve will meet and discuss the raise of those interest rates, it will be 75 basis points. And my projection is that the Federal Reserve will do a 75 basis point increase over the next 4 meetings and continue into next year. What you need to know is that, thank goodness, there is a forcible check in every U.S. state. I have in this reporting for you 100 to 300 checks, upwards of $300,000. You qualify. Become a member. Go right in this video, become a member. Stay the big second half as we go over all these incredible checks from the shores of Santa Monica, California. The breaking news heats up right today. We'll go over what the indication of inflation showed us today, what tomorrow brings us with that Producer Price Index number, what this could mean for the housing market. It's already struggling, could have more struggles across the board, what of course it means to raise your benefits. The breaking news from the shores of Santa Monica, California heats up today. It's a September 13th, 2022. It's all breaking news. It's all about your money. It's all about your wallet. And it's all about the Purple Power community. The latest details start right now, right here on a big September 13th of Afternoons. And good afternoon, everybody. It's a big day here, September 13th. Unemployment, your forced stimulus, your breaking news heats up right now, and we go right into that lifetime of stimulus. That lifetime of stimulus is the raise of your benefits impacted by the number released this morning. And what was it? We have all the details you need to know starting right now. How are you? I hope you have a beautiful afternoon. I hope your day is going well. It cooled down here in Southern California finally. That was the end of the heat season for Southern California, so thank goodness. Now we're back to pleasant skies with about a 74 high and lows in about the 60s. It's a little bit humid today, so it takes about a half a day for the heat to cool off across the board. We started today right before sunrise at 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with the announcement of the Consumer Price Index number, the CPI for the month of August, released at about 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You and I have been watching this number for a long time. Why? Because it impacts your benefits. Why? It's the most important number for gauging inflation, although there's other gauges as well. And we were trying to get a sense of what the number would say today before it's announced. I've been training you on this number for a while, and apparently your training paid off. Your expertise on the subject matter worked. Because over the last few weeks, I've been asking you in the live chats, has the milk and eggs gone down or been flat in the last 30 days? Jump in the live chat right now and interact with me as well. You've been saying it went up. Then I've been asking you about the salaries, flat or higher. We've been saying flat or higher, basically. Jump in the live chat if you agree as well. Then when we look at the other component parts like gasoline, we knew it went down, but I was deeply critical of the AAA national average. I don't think it's gone down as low as they said it has been. And I've been looking at the international price of Brent crude, which you have as a member in the membership newsletter. So everything you and I were discussing really came true today. Let's go over the latest breaking news across the board. The Consumer Price Index number, the CPI, for the month of August was released this morning, and Wall Street was looking at the headline number, the summary number, to be flat, down 0.1%. What did it come in at? It came in at an increase of 0.1%. Wow. Now that's a shocker. Then when we look at the component part, which is the core CPI, which removes food and energy, we were looking for it to go about 0.3% up. Did it go up? It did, 0.6%. Wow. So it beat on both the headline and the core CPI. So why did this number go up so much in the last month? Because you got it right. Costs were driven up by food, shelter, Medicare, and they were offset by gasoline. Wow. This is exactly what we've been talking about. Shelter is 30% of the CPI, and because that shelter, which is rent, went up, that drove inflation higher. Now, 2 weeks ago, we had the payroll numbers for the month of August release, and in there it showed that the salaries went up 0.3%. That was what we knew then. So did it mirror itself today? Of course it did. Real salaries went up 0.2% for the month. So there you go. That was another component part that all went up across the board. The Consumer Price Index, when you compare it year to date, is up 8.3%. Wow. And when you compare it compared to the month of July was only up 0.6%. Here are the year-to-date numbers on that CPI released today. Gasoline is up 25 point. This is year to date, not month to month. Gasoline up 25.6%. Airline 33.4. Electricity 15.8. Food 13%. New vehicles 10. And then everything else after that is less than 10% up year to date. Used cars, rent, Medicare, and apparel is the least of the increases, only 5.1%. The reaction to the news is exactly what you thought. The bond traders, what do you think the bond traders are going to do? Higher or lower? Do you think they're trading the bonds up or down? You've been trained really well. You know the answer. Jump in the live chat. Did the bond market trade up the Treasury notes up based upon the news? Obviously, yes, because they're expecting the Federal Reserve to come now in with more aggressive interest rate spikes, and so the bond traders, of course, would trade up the bond yields. You know how the markets work. Stocks go up, bonds go down. Bonds go up, stocks go down. Pretty simple. It's sort of like lobster shorts. Out of fashion, out of fashion. $12 ice cream, still $12 ice cream. And San Francisco's hairstyle, always San Francisco. So you know how this works. What happened with the reaction to the news? Obviously, everyone understood that the Federal Reserve is going to come in more aggressively with those interest rate spikes. They have one per month, the FOMC meeting starting in just about a week ago for the month of September. What did the bond market do? Trade up the notes. Stock market traded down the stocks. The 2-year Treasury note was traded up by the bond traders upon this news, surging 17 basis point. Wow. To 3.735. How high is that percentage point? Because we don't really know these numbers by heart, some of us. This is the highest level for the 2-year bond, Since when? When do you think how high do you think this is? Highest of the year? Highest pre-COVID? Jump in the live chat. What do you think? I'm shocked. It's the highest 2-year Treasury note since 2007. Since 2007. Many YouTubers were not even alive then. Since 2007, the highest 2-year Treasury note. Well, put that money in the bank and get a 2-year Treasury note, because this is looking really good across the board. Wow, this is just jaw-dropping. I mean, what would San Francisco hairstyles look like with this? I really don't know, but this is looking really incredible. The 2-year Treasury note, well, it's incredible if you want to invest in a 2-year Treasury note. It's not incredible if you want to go get a mortgage. The yield inversion curve. Remember the yield inversion curve, which indicates a recession when you're looking at the two different bonds. Do they get more inverted today? Of course, they got more inverted across the board. Stocks. So you know that bonds go up when But when bonds go up, stocks go down. So the stocks go down on the news? Of course. Stocks plummeted 350 points on the news. Mike Lowengart, head of portfolio construction at Morgan Stanley's Global Investment Office, said, today's CPI reading is a stark reminder of the long road we have until inflation is back down to earth. Wishful expectations that we are in a downward trajectory and the Fed will lay off the gas may have been a bit premature. Who told you this first? Who has been discussing this first across the board? You and I. I've been discussing this since June. Stock straight up, crypto straight up. Well, at least in June. And home sellers saying buy the homes. I said craziness, insanity, stupidity, ridiculousness. Don't do it. Because there was no indication that the component parts of inflation. Let's just take this back a notch. This is so simple. I want to give you a round of applause. You are doing better than Wall Street traders who get six-figure salaries. You're doing better. Why? Because you're using common sense. I said go into the supermarket, watch the milk and eggs over the next 30 days. We've been talking about that for a while, but especially this last 30 days. Watch the milk and eggs. And then I said after 30 days, flat or higher. You said higher in some of the cases. I've seen yogurt go through the roof. Yogurt is insane in Los Angeles. $7, $5. I mean, just ridiculous. I had to fight to find it for $2.30 or $3 somewhere. Milk in some markets has gone down, but eggs has not. And so this is exactly what you and I were talking about on this channel for 30 days. We did not see the component parts going down. And so the component parts were not going down. We all knew, you and I, the Purple Power community, we all knew that inflation was going higher, at least for the component parts. We didn't know about the headline number. We said, maybe it's flat. But the component parts, we all knew it was going higher. And you and I also discussed rent. 30% of the CPI, you sign a lease and that's the lease. You don't know someone else's rent unless you ask them. But there was no indication that the rent was going down. That was the case. And then we had the salaries released 2 weeks ago. That indication was going up. And yet, here was Wall Street. Gasoline, gas. They had a lot of gas. Wall Street had a lot of gas. Analysis. And I kept on saying, I don't like that AAA national average. I don't like it. I'd rather use the international price of Brent crude, which is in the membership newsletter. And that number showed that the gasoline did go down, went back up. Did go down, then went back up. It didn't show those consistently down for the last 30 days. So this looked like there was enough offset balance, gasoline down, but the other items up, that the inflation would come in higher. And why are the reactions so stark today? Because they didn't use common sense like you and I do. They didn't use common sense. That comment by Mike Lowengart is exactly what you and I have been talking for a while on this channel. Since at least about June. June, it started with the corporate earnings, taking a really bad hit. When Target and Walmart, if you remember that week in May, Target and Walmart said inflation is really hurting their bottom line. The consumers are not coming to stores, and that wealthy individuals are shopping at their stores now because the price is attractive. We saw the stock market implode in June, down dramatically at the time. And that implosion of the stock market down at the time was indicative of a recession and inflation hitting. But what happened after that? What happened as of even yesterday? In the last 3 days, some stocks have been straight up. People telling you to buy. Buy. No, wave at the check and say buy. Buy, Mr. Check. And that analysis was getting people in trouble. That analysis was getting people in big trouble, saying that good times are here to stay. Premature? No. I think they're just trying to really sell you on a path to nowhere. Let's look at the latest details on the stocks reporting earnings today, or at least getting downward guidance. Consistent with the narrative? It is consistent with the narrative. Here we go. Oatly down 2%. Credit Suisse downgrade. Dow Chemical down 1%. Downgrade from Jefferies. Here we go. Downgrade. Stock down. Downgrade. Stock down. When they downgrade, they mean that basically the stock is going to be suffering for the rest of this year. Downgrade. Stock is down. Every day, 60 to 80% of the stocks I have to report to you downgrade rest this year. Stock is down. Nintendo up. Life is like a video game. Wolf Speed, very wolfy, up 2%. Twilio, 2% up. Oracle, up 2%. Twitter, up 1%. And Adobe, another day. Every day it's Adobe stories. Adobe now down another 0.4%. Capital markets downgrade as well. Everyone's downgrading Adobe. There you go. The situation is so important today based upon the CPI. But you and I already knew where this was going. There's a lot of things that derive from the CPI, and let's go over everything you need to know because there is so many items that roll out because of the CPI. First, let's understand the narrative of the CPI and where we've gone with that CPI over the last few months. The CPI has tracked higher, but the component parts have tracked even more high. Everything you need to know with that CPI, let's go over it starting right now. That CPI was a whopping 8.6% in the month of July. In the month of May, 8.6% in the month of May. And then what happened after month of May? May is when it shocked the markets. The markets were shocked by an 8.6. I wasn't. You weren't. We have been discussing this. 8.6 in May. Then in June, the CPI went to a where? 9.1. Last month, it went to an 8.5. Today, it went to about an 8.6 again. Flat? Yeah, that's basically flat since the month of May. Back on July 13th, we had the June CPI's release. Remember that day? CPI beat. PPI beat the next day. Retail sales beat. So what should we expect for this week? Well, based upon the data today, you know that you should expect beats all this week long. This is a beautiful Tuesday. What do we have coming in on Wednesday? On Wednesday, we had the PPI coming in, and I'm now expecting the PPI to beat. On Thursday, we have the retail sales coming in, and I'm expecting the retail sales to beat as well. And this is what's going on with this economy. Meantime, labor is going to start to fall apart because labor is being released on Thursday, and the projections on that is it's going higher after it tracked lower. It tracked down to about 220,000 claims. It's expected to go back up to 225. It's basically flat, not going one way or the other. Now, the big news for you is that with this CPI, your benefits are going up so much. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Rail benefits, Veterans benefits. How much? About 5,000 for some of you more, some of you less. 3 months of data determined it. And we've got to now the 2 months of data, only 1 month left. The first month was the month of July, released August 10th. The next month was the August data released today. And then the third month is September, being released around October 10th. I mean, it's looking really good. Yeah, have a sip. It's just looking really good. What's at issue is that we need to basically see this inflation stay flat and your benefits are going up a lot. I just feel so wonderful for you. Do you feel wonderful? I do. Why? We've been talking about this for a very long time. We've been talking about the raise of your benefits for a very long time. SS200, SS300 2 years ago, 3 years ago, fifth stimulus, swapping COLA for inflation, all that and more. But what we got worried about was earlier this year, we didn't know if that inflation was going to come down really dramatically. And it hasn't. And now you got the lifetime of stimulus. I really want to congratulate you. You've done a great job. You're getting the largest lift of your benefits of a generation. You should be stepping up and celebrating. I'm so excited you tuned into today because today's recording is perhaps the most important recording if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits. Potentially, or at least the whole day's recordings of potentially the entire year for you. Why? Because this data that was released today was the data that's going to determine how much your benefits are going to go up lifetime. Now we have 1 month of data, but this month that was released today is basically flat compared to the month before. So it's looking really incredibly great. Now, this guy's not thinking it's looking really great. You know, it depends on how you gauge what's great or poor. When you look at inflation, there's two parts of the story. One, your benefits are going up an enormous amount. The second part of the equation is it's going to cost you a lot more money to live for a lot longer time. And third, there's going to be a lot of cons to those inflationary numbers that came in today. Let's go over the pros and cons starting right now. Pros, your benefits are going up an enormous amount. It could be 10%. It could be 11%. It could be 12%. What have you and I discussed over the last 2 months, 3 months? The Seniors League. When they look at that CPI print for the month of August, that got released for the month of July, released on August 10th. They said that with that 8.6, then your benefits could go up about 10.1%. I'm looking for the Seniors League to speak today. I'll potentially have it on evenings. But I said at the time, I thought the number was conservative. I now am absolutely convinced that the number was conservative. You and I had discussed over the last week that we were waiting to see if that AAA national average was really confusing people, that really inflation was going higher, that the AAA national average was not accurate, not reliable, or confusing or misleading, and that there were going to be other component parts that bring inflation higher. And if that was the case, your benefits go up a lot. With today's data, what is my projection? With the today's data, I believe that with now 2 months of data in, I believe we're at least 11% to 12% your benefits are going up. I'm looking at it as at least 11 to 12% for your benefits going up. Now we got one more month of data. This is looking really exciting. I'll have the Seniors League and other analysts' comments in Evenings LA tonight across the board. 11 to 12% up, that's a lot of money. For some of you, that could be, a couple $100 more per month. This is everything we've ever talked about. For a lot of you, this is SS 300. This is $300 more per month. And let's make this very clear. When we talked about SS 200, SS 300, we talked about it as 1 year of stimulus. 1 year of stimulus proposed by Liz Warren, 1 year proposed by Bernie Sanders, 1 year proposed by Joe Biden, 1 year of SS 200, SS 300. This is not 1 year, folks. This is lifetime. This is lifetime. Congratulations. This is great news for you. This is absolutely incredible great news for you. So this is going to be thousands of dollars over your lifetime. It's just incredible. Some of you, tens of thousands of dollars. This is an enormous change of your livelihood. Now, let's go to the other part of this equation, which is not good news for some people. People not on benefits, this is not particularly good news for you. But because why? Because if you buy any of the component parts that went up month to month, then you're feeling the pressure, such as airline fares. There was a new report. I skipped over it. Let's go to right now. Airline fares was one of the highest numbers of the CPI, up 33% year to date. There is a new report that says airline fares could be 20% higher than 2019 for this Thanksgiving season, with the average in the United States, $350. And Christmas, the average fare could be nearly $463. Wow. Insane. Now, where is this negatively going to hurt people? It's going to hurt people who has any type of debt. And it's going to hurt any type of person who works or lives in an environment that's dependent upon debt. I have a lot of viewers who were in lockdown during the pandemic that were viewers of this channel that have now gotten back to work. I see it. Congratulations to a lot of you that have gotten back to work. Just so exciting. Your employer may have debt in the business, and that debt could be to buy goods, to buy furniture, and that employer is not going to be happy. So if they show up grouchy to work, it's not because of you. That debt you need to get rid of right away. Credit card debt, adjustable rate debt, mortgage debt that is variable. Why? Because the Federal Reserve, in my projection, is going to come in at those 75 basis points in September, October, November, December, and then we'll pivot somewhere into the 50-point range, but continue it all throughout the much of half of next year. I want you to put it on a picture frame and put it on a wall, because no one else is talking about this. No one else is talking about this. Even today, we had that comment yesterday by Mr. Shaw. Shaw, I can't remember his first name. It was brilliant. Seema Shaw, almost got it right. Seema Shaw from Principal Global Investors says the reality is starting to set in. I agree, but not so much. Wall Street is now anticipating 2 interest rate spikes. I'll say the reality is set in when Wall Street's ready to see a whole rest of the year of interest rate spikes, which is what's going to happen. Interest rate spikes into next year. And imagine what's going to happen to small businesses. They'll go under. Imagine what's going to happen to anyone who has adjustable rate debt, like a car loan, a credit card debt, or a business that has, inventory debt. Won't be able to afford it. Won't be able to afford it. The mortgage rate, let's go for the housing industry. If you're trying to sell the house, sell it right now. Get the house sold right now. The housing market is going to collapse. It has already started to fall apart. We are in a housing recession, too negative. That's been confirmed by the National Association of Home Builders. But the housing market's going to really fall apart because why? No one can afford a mortgage rate at 6%. Do you think anyone can afford a 30-year fixed mortgage rate at 7%? That's where we're heading. We were 3% on that mortgage rate last year. Now we're heading to 7%. If you work in an industry or you're exposed to an industry where it's housing, like home builders or existing home sales or rent or rentals or apartments, anything like that, get ready because this is not going to look good, folks. This is not going to look good. The housing market is absolutely going to go into major turmoil. And though, I got to tell you, of all the groups of people where the reality is not set in, housing, the sellers, the reality has not set in. They try to tell you everything. Like we've had analysts on this channel that have said stuff like people are just buying with no debt. Not true. No one has cash for all this stuff. Number two, that the home prices are sustaining themselves. No, the existing home prices are down compared to 2019. They're down 14% compared to compared to 2021. They're down 14% compared to the average median sale price in 2019, they're down 40%. 1 in 5 home sellers cannot sell their home. They're having to slash the price of the homes. It's just not a good situation. And that, my friends, is why the reality, in my opinion, has not set in yet. The great news is that there's 16 categories of stimulus checks. The 16 categories of forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. We detail them on this channel throughout the day, every day. And those 16 categories of stimulus checks are absolutely huge. 100 to 300 checks, more closer to 300 checks. $100 to $300,000, closer to $200,000. And we're going to go over all those incredible sums of money in the big second half. Have you become a member of the channel? I hope you have. We now have 3 broadcasting channels. LALATE 1, the original, LALATE 2, and LALATE 3. LALATE 2 is really on fire, and LALATE 3 is picking up speed. LALATE 3 yesterday aired live crypto, and I got to thank you for tuning in. You really tuned in. One of the most watched shows on LALATE 3 to date. It was a live show. LALATE 2, thank you for your membership. Membership is zooming. I'm trying to think of a special thing for my double members. A lot of you have become double members or triple members. Dragon and Margaret were the first. She was the first. Margaret was the first triple member, and Dragon was the second triple member. We've had a lot of double members on multiple channels, and I hope we have more triple members. It's just exciting. Make sure you jump over to LA too because it is really heating up. The membership is surging, and the live show, Stimulus Live, is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because you don't have to be a member. You can be just a subscriber, jump in the live chat anytime. I'm in there. And we got new shows coming across the board. Meantime, watch Metaverse. Episode 1 currently airing on LA 3. Get ready for the food shows coming to LA 3. They've been filmed. They're going to be uploaded very shortly. It's just getting really exciting here. I'm so excited you're along for the ride. If you are a member, make sure you renew your membership because we got new stimulus across the board. And get ready for the big second half as we go over all those incredible checks. Go into this video, become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Become a member and get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts so that you get these now 16 categories of 100 to 300 checks. Huge. We're going to go over all these incredible sums of money in the big second half. It's a lot going on today. And we're just getting started. We'll have a projection of what to see tomorrow with that producer price index and the day after with the retail sales as Afternoons LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. They're Facebook,
Twitter and Instagram, individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now on a big second half of September 13th, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. I look forward to seeing you tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's Evenings LA. Remember, that's the breaking news show, the 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Evenings LA. The latest details on the economy and the latest recap after the markets of what happened. The breaking news continues right now from the shores of Santa Monica, California as we go over those big stimulus items. Meantime, we got a lot coming up this week. Here's again a preview coming up this week. Of course, first tune in tonight for 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time as well the latest recap of the markets after they close. The show, of course, is taped earlier in the day. Wednesday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is all Eastern Standard Time. The Mortgage Banker Association, MBA, releases the Mortgage Purchase Application Index. Of course, it's going to be down. Applications for mortgages are 20% are down to a 20-year low, but the refis, the applications, are just falling apart. Do you think anyone's getting an application in with a 6% mortgage? Of course not. The Producer Price Index is released an hour and a half later tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. for the month of August by BLS. The consensus, the consensus as of before today's CPI was released, a 0.1 decrease of the PPI and a 0.3% of the core PPI. That was what they had said for the CPI. So it's obviously going to be wrong. It's going to be up and up. Then on Thursday, wow, look at everything that's happened on Thursday. Thursday, we have at 8:30 a.m., the unemployment claims being released. And again, we're expecting those to go from 222,000 to 225. Insane. Retail sales for the month of August will be released 30 minutes at the same time at 8:30 for the month of August. And the consensus is a 0.2% increase for retail sales. The Philly Manufacturing Survey for the month of September is released also at that same time. They're projecting that to slump down from a 6.2% manufacturing survey to just a 3.5. Wow, that's shocking. I hope we have that data tomorrow. And the manufacturing survey from the New York Fed is expecting a reading of a negative 13.9, up from a negative 31.3. We have also the Fed will release the industrial production capacity tomorrow, and then Friday. That's Thursday, and then Friday. That's a big one. Friday with the consumer sentiment released just before sunrise by University of Michigan. And the consumer sentiment is lobster shorts have to go away. The consumer sentiment on lobster shorts is still yuck. It was yuck last month. I still think it's yuck this month. What do you think the consumer sentiment on lobster shorts will be tomorrow? And actually, it's Friday. Oh, it's Friday, University of Michigan. Friday, September 16th. Do you think it'll be yuck, or do you think it'll be like yuck to infinity? This is how we do data on this channel. The yuck index. It's just the why I. Why I know? Why you? Why Mitch? Why is he wearing that? Let's go into why I index. Not me. I'm not wearing lobster shorts. It's why him, not why me. Why I? No, thank you. The flowers look beautiful, don't they? I expect Ann to send me a message within about 10 minutes from now saying, I have now figured out every single horticultural background of every plant in that set. Some of them are a little bit, diffused because of the light in the background. So, yeah, aren't they? Let's move back a little bit so you can see some more. Yeah, there's some more here, there's some more there. This is why you tune into Evenings LA at 5 o'clock East Pacific Standard Time, because when the light changes, you can see the lights, you can see the flowers even better. There's now 16 categories of incredible checks, 100 to 300 checks, but closer to 300, 100 to $300,000, closer to $200,000 for you across the board. And what's important for you is to go get these monies. Where do you get these monies? Three things you need to do. One, become a member. Go right in this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Go under this video and become a member. You can become a member of LA1, the channel you may be watching right now, LA2 or LA3. Any membership of any channel works. Then, at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, you may be on the East Coast, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the membership newsletter is delivered to you via the YouTube alerts. It's posted to the youtube.com/LALATE or LA2 or LA3 community page. It's not posted to the community page of LA, so don't get confused with that. And then you go in and apply. We have lots of checks now at issue. We have 16 categories of checks. We have check A, B, and C. We have E through K. And then we have L through Q. Massive stimulus across the board. It's federal stimulus, so it's in every U.S. state. It's from the federal government. And it's been a law since the month of March, and it's for you. Let's recap those categories of checks and what's at issue. Just incredible details. So excited for you. And congratulations to all the incredible viewers who have been getting these sums of money. Here we go. The first three checks were passed by the President of the United States by executive action in the month of March. They are checks A, B, and C. And you qualify. Single individual, 75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, 150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it as well. About $100,000, that's check A, B, and C, passed by the President of the United States by executive action then. The next categories of checks, E through K, did not come through the President by executive action, but came from Congress. These were passed by Congress, E through K. 7 categories and massive stimulus. Then we went into a series of checks every week, L and M, N and O, P and Q. What is the biggest check in that entire run of checks, single check? The biggest single check in that entire run of checks, we have some $100,000 checks in there. We have some $100,000 checks. The most common amount of a check in there is about 14,000. That's a very common number. The lowest value of check, boy, what's the lowest value of a check? I don't even know if I have a check under $1,000. They're just really massive sums of money. You do this. You go under the video, become a member. Get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go down and apply for check A through C. They're listed one at a time. A, B, C. Then, right after that has E through K. That's 7 categories. You apply for each of those. Then you apply for L and M, N and O, P and Q. Just a massive sums of stimulus. It's about 100 to 300 checks, but averaging about 200. And it's for you. Why would you not get it? Single individual, 75,000 less. Married couple, 150,000 less. And if you're on benefits, go get it. Absolutely incredible. One of the great things of becoming a member is everything that comes with the membership. First, you get the newsletter that has the 200, 300 checks in there for you to go get. Number 2, it has the worksheets in the membership newsletter. The membership newsletter starts with the price of gasoline, international Brent crude, and the AAA national average, then the price of wheat and corn, and then the next line is the newsletter's delivery to you of the worksheets. The worksheets are a series of pages, a PDF you can print out from your cell phone or computer and keep track of where this economy is and where it's going, and those worksheets are huge. The first page of the worksheet is a way for you to keep track of where this inflation is, where the recession is, where the labor is, and where the Federal Reserve is. I just went over all those 4 items already in this recording, so take notes on the pages of the worksheets right there. The next page of the worksheet is a table to keep track of all your incredible stimulus you're applying for. We currently have a massive amount of checks. B and C have the most checks of all of them. B is about 80 to 100 checks. C is about 80 to 100 checks, but 12 opportunities, 12 places to get those checks. So you need to keep track of all these incredible checks you're getting. And this channel has been getting people $50 million since it launched. There's no other place anywhere in the landscape where you can get more money than here on this channel. But you got to keep track of all this incredible stimulus. Remember, this is for you. Remember, this is how you get it. And watch the shows throughout the day. Open that membership newsletter. Become a success story. Send me a private message on social media, on Facebook, and I will feature your success story on camera. Here are some of the many success stories. I mean, these viewers keep on getting sums of money. Here was Nisi, who has 23,000 from these stimulus items. She's gone to 50,000. Here's Mark. He was at 50. He's gone to 166,000. Here's Lorraine. She was at 105. She's gone to 155. We've had Johnny and Margaret and Lorraine and Mark. And then we have Dragon, who got 148,000. We have Lynn Glenn, who got 12 months of utilities. We have two viewers who got 14 months of rent in the last few days. Lynn's success was last few days as well. We have had massive success in every state. We have had two viewers in Florida just kill it. Here is Frank out of Florida. 18 months of checks, 18 months of utilities, 18 months of high speed. He's in Florida. Congratulations to Frank. We had another viewer in Florida who got a massive sums of money. She got 100 plus checks practically. It's just what is the narrative on this channel. And you deserve that. You deserve that on top of your benefit raises. You deserve that on top of understanding where this economy is. And meantime, just so much excitement across the board. Now let's go back into the latest breaking news you need to know about this recession, this economy, this inflation, and these benefit raises. Remember, how do you get these incredible sums of money? One, you go into this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Powercast, VIP, or become a member of LA1, LA2, LA3. Get that membership newsletter. Go down and apply for check A through Q. It's 15 categories. 15? No, 16? I'm losing track right now. 14 categories. 14 categories of stimulus. 100 to 300 checks, but averaging about 200 checks and 300 checks and $100 to $300,000. Just incredible. Get that incredible membership newsletter under this video and start getting that big stimulus. And congratulations to all the people who've been getting it across the board. Let's go back to the latest details hitting today with those announcements from the Federal Reserve. Common sense rules. That's my commentary to end today's recording. Common sense rules. Common sense was led by you and I over the last 3 months when we looked at this economy and we said common sense is landlords are not going to cut the rent. They're not going to reduce the rent, obviously, common sense. Common sense is the salaries are not going to go down. No one's going to take a cut of their salary. Salaries are flat or going higher. And common sense is what you see, the price of milk and eggs and the food at the supermarket is an indication of what's going on with inflation. That's common sense. Common sense also tells us that the Federal Reserve is not going to stop doing what they're doing because they tell us that. You follow what the Federal Reserve says they're going to do. That's common sense. People started to get a little bit too intellectual. They started to, not here, elsewhere, Wall Street. They started to get a little too intellectual, thinking it through too much. Well, what if? And well, maybe that. And well, no. They were trying to wish a recession not to happen. They were trying to wish inflation to sort of stop. They were trying to wish that Jay Powell was going to stop those interest rate spikes. It's good to wish on a star and hope that you are where you are. Is that the rhyme? I don't know. Jay Powell and shining on a star, wishing where you are. It's good to be wishful, but not when it comes to money. In the case of your economy, you need to be sensible. And that's why I want you to do the following things today. I want you to jump over to LA2. I want you to jump over to LA3. I want you to make sure you subscribe to both channels. I want you to give yourself a little bit of time every day to watch at least one of the shows on those other channels because I need you to learn more about this economy, improve yourself as a person. I'm so excited to see so many of you back to work. I'm so excited to see so many of you back to normal, whatever your normal is, interacting with your grandchildren, going down and playing bingo with your friends. I enjoy seeing you back to your normal, but I want you to keep me with your normal and improve yourself as a person. Improving oneself as a person is not just coming off a lockdown. It's improving and understanding what's going on. Imagine you endured 2 years of lockdown. Now you got 2 years of recession on the horizon. So together we're going to achieve it and overcome it as a family. It's the true spirit of the Purple Power family. Join me tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for a brand new Evenings LA. It's 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's a show you want to watch. It's a special report tonight about your CPI. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. Make sure you become a member to get those incredible checks in every U.S. state. Go under the video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Get those incredible checks A through Q. And I'll see you tonight on Evenings LA. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless, and see you tonight.